Now at 6, firefighters tried to tackle a fast-moving wildfire that has exploded in size.
The wind just kind of takes it where we can't go.
Plus, the rush to cool off.
Hey everybody, life vests! Life vests!
And do it safely as the heat peaks across the Northwest.
Then, a preschool drop-off turns tense when ICE arrests a local dad. Now parents are questioning the timing and tactics. Then later.
So we typically each year get about 70,000 applications.
And only a few make the cut. An exclusive look at the coveted Nike internship that could launch careers.
Our big story here at 6 is, you guessed it, the heat. We hit 91 degrees yesterday, and today we're still under a KGW weather impact alert as temps push into the upper 90s.
So let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Matt Sfino. Matt, sounds like some sort of cool down is on the way.
It'll be gradual, but it'll be meaningful. As we go into tomorrow, we won't be nearly as hot as we are today, and as we are still right now. We've dropped, well, we're still at 96 degrees. We actually peaked, though, at 97 a little bit ago. That's our high temperature for the day and for the year so far. Hopefully that'll be it for the year. That'd actually be one of the cooler high temperatures for the year that we've had in recent years. 96 in Hillsborough, 96 Scappoose, Hood River cooler at 93. Medford made 100, but much of eastern Oregon topped out in the 80s, but you're going to be warming up there tomorrow. So our weather impact alert continues for 4 more hours until 10 o'clock tonight. Then we'll let it expire because we'll get some pretty decent cooling overnight tonight. Unlike last night, it'll get a little bit cooler. So the heat advisory continues until 10 o'clock as well, and that runs from the Canadian border down into Northern California. It's a widespread little heat wave that we got going on right now. And I say little because it is fairly short-lived, just 2 days in the 90s. You see the smoke from the Cram Fire in eastern Oregon beginning to get the smoke pushed on off to the east. Meanwhile, the marine layer shrinking south, but that's going to redevelop overnight tonight. You can see it here from our Lincoln City Skycam, only 63 at the coast. And that cooler air is going to begin to seep and then eventually flood into the Western Valley. So yes, it is a hot evening. It's going to stay hot as we go into the later hours tonight, but not as hot tomorrow, still around 90, but that means we drop about 7-8 degrees from today. And then the weekend brings even more robust cooling. We'll have all of that for you in a bit, guys.
Hey, love the sound of that. Thanks, Pat.
Okay, let's bring in our John Adams now live in downtown Portland. John, you caught up with a whole lot of people trying to cool off today.
Christine and David, that's exactly right. I spoke to a number of people enjoying a day by the water today, and it's really important to stay cool because here in Multnomah County, we continue to see increases in visits to the ER due to heat-related illnesses as we see more days in the 90s. As the Portland area continues to endure its hottest stretch of the year, people have flocked to rivers and lakes to find relief, including High Rocks Park in Gladstone.
It's beautiful weather. It's nice to be on the river watching all the kids play the summertime, staying out of trouble. You know, it's really hot outside, so it's nice to be able to jump in the water when you get too hot.
A member of the AMR River Rescue Team told us High Rocks and Glen Otto Park on the Sandy River continue to see hundreds of visitors.
It's definitely getting busier the hotter that it gets because everyone wants to come to the river and cool down.
On the Willamette River, Sergeant Nate Thompson with the Clackamas County Marine Unit says it's been busy with the increased temperatures. He urges people getting in the water to come prepared.
Even if you're swimming on the beach, it's really great to have a life jacket with you. We've had some near drownings lately, and we don't want to have any drownings this summer. And having that life jacket with you can save your life or help save someone else.
As the number of 90-degree days increases in the area, so do emergency room visits in Multnomah County. 2024 had the second highest number of incidents in the last decade.
Last summer, we saw 170 visits for heat-related illness to the emergency room department, which was the second highest behind the year of the heat dome.
Those we spoke with say finding a cool spot and staying hydrated is key to beating the heat.
Stay in the water, go in the water, drink water, a lot of water.
Well, in addition to those ER visits, we have also seen an increase in hospitalizations due to heat here in Multnomah County over the last few years. 2023 and 2024 both saw 18 hospitalizations, which before the heat dome in 2021, most years saw 0 hospitalizations. Back to you.
Yeah, John Adams along the river tonight. John, go find some AC. Appreciate your reporting. By the way, if you or someone you know needs a place to cool off here, we have a list of cooling centers and fountains. That's a good option. Open around the Portland Metro. It's on KGW.com. Just text the word cool to this number, 503-226-5088, and we will text you back with a link to the list.
And we're also tracking the latest on the largest wildfire in Oregon. We're talking about the Wildfire burning near Madras. It has exploded over the last 3 days, scorching over 64,000 acres. Officials expect that it'll only get bigger. Fire managers say shifting wind directions have made it hard to hold containment lines, and evacuation zones have also expanded. You can see a bird's eye view of Oregon here, and the fire burning here basically in central Oregon. As I zoom in, you can see the level 1 evacuation notices in Jefferson, Wasco counties. Level 1 in green, of course, level 2 over here in yellow, and as I zoom in, a large portion of this map, level 3 in red. These evacuations impact more than 1,200 people in total. The local sheriff's office issues evacuation orders, so you can always find those updates on their Facebook page. And a reminder, you can also sign up for alerts by going to oralert.gov. David.
Well, now at 6, there are growing concerns from parents after a father was arrested by ICE while dropping his child off at a Beaverton preschool. Let's go right to Celine Stevens live outside that school. So Celine, do we know why ICE detained him?
David, so ICE told me that Dr. Mahdi Khanbazadi who is a local chiropractor, was detained because he overstayed the terms of his visa and is now being held at the Northwest ICE Processing Center in Tacoma. So Dr. Khanbazadi is a citizen of Iran, and although U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement told me he did enter the country legally, it was overstaying the terms of his visa that led to this detainment. However, his wife told me that is not the case. Those that know him say he is a kind and honest man, and even those who do not know him call the detainment at the school reckless and irresponsible.
The opposition I've heard is, well, we're arresting criminals, we're cleaning things up, but I don't know how I can look at what happened, knowing the school, the staff, knowing of the parents, and thinking that that was a justified thing.
So a statement from the school's regional manager says that they are actively supporting staff and family and helping provide resources to help them process the event, and that they are also taking steps to make sure everyone remains safe on their campus. Back to you.
Yeah, Celine Stevens live in Beaverton this evening. Thanks, Celine.
New at 6, Milwaukee police just released body cam video showing a driver slamming into the back of a patrol car.
Well, they hope seeing it will remind you to keep an eye out for emergency crews on the side of the road to slow down and to move over. Take a look.
I'm having a hard time seeing it there, brother. Thank you, man. One Murray 2. I just had a car crash into the back of my patrol car and almost ran me over.
No kidding. That Milwaukee police officer is okay. He had another driver stop last Friday on Highway 224 in McLaughlin when that second vehicle hit his car. Police say that kind of behavior is what they'll be looking for during an enforcement mission tomorrow during the day between 8 and 4. It is the law, by the way, to move over for emergency vehicles or to slow down by at least 5 miles an hour. Authorities say they'll also be looking for speeding in general, people running red lights, and distracted driving.
In your headlines, we begin in Washington, D.C., where police arrested an Oregon man after finding a cache of weapons inside his car. Officers say 23-year-old Nolan Churin from Myrtle Point had guns, knives, a sword, a bow and arrow, even a halberd, which is a weapon with both an axe blade and a spike on it. They say there was also a tricycle strapped to the roof of the car. Now, Churin faces multiple weapons charges, and investigators are still trying to figure out why he was there in the first place.
Oregon and Washington have joined yet another multi-state lawsuit suing the Trump administration, this time for shutting down a federal disaster prep program. The BRIC program funded projects to strengthen infrastructure against wildfires, floods, and other threats. The attorneys general say the administration is breaking the law by cutting the funding, and now they are fighting to restore it.
Portland city officials say crime has actually dropped near 2 recently opened overnight shelters. And while the stats show some improvements, there were crimes that increased. Libby Dowsett spoke with some people skeptical about the data.
A new study released Wednesday on crime statistics at overnight shelters in Portland began with input from those who work at shelters.
We had been hearing from our outreach workers that participants at our sites had been experiencing less crime, less harassment, less assault, less theft.
The Strategic Services Division of Portland Police Bureau began to track the numbers at two of the city's newest overnight shelters on Southwest 2nd Avenue and North Williams.
So they looked at crime reports prior to opening and crime reports after opening within a 1,000-foot radius of each site.
And according to city officials, crime dropped at both sites.
For the Moore site, it went down by a little more than 12%. At the Safe site, it went down by approximately 3%, which, is still fairly significant.
But the numbers showed mixed results. 6 months after the shelter opened, the numbers at the 2nd Avenue location show a 33% drop in aggravated assaults, 56% drop in robberies compared to the 6 months before the shelter opened. But the numbers also show motor vehicle thefts up 44% and drug offenses up 55%. The city said increased enforcement is driving the rise in drug offenses. The numbers at the North Williams location showed small decreases in aggravated assault and vandalism, but a doubling of car thefts. Joan Neese lives across the street from a shelter in the Pearl and is fighting the addition of another shelter. She told us what she's witnessed.
From assaults to harassment to our very own concierge being attacked by a drug-addicted homeless person with a pipe.
And others don't trust numbers from the city.
No matter how the City Hall wants to jigger the numbers, rocks are hard and water's wet, and people can see with their own eyes and the results of what's happening.
The mayor says the city will help neighborhoods with shelters.
When you have a shelter, you're going to see an increase in street sweeping, graffiti abatement. We're going to focus on addressing drug use and drug dealing. Those are all the things that we're going to see, you're going to see mitigated and reduced dramatically.
But it's not enough for the president of the Northwest District Association.
The model is to congregate the problem, have no solution to the problem, and then everybody in the daytime can, go fan out into the neighborhood. It's just not a model that makes any sense. I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care what a spreadsheet says.
In Portland, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.